Jackson Township Police.
Hi, yes, I need some help.
Okay, where are you at?
4924 Portage Street.
4924 Portage?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
On January 9th, 2017, Liang Zhao called the police in Jackson Township to report his daughter missing. While Liang and his wife were working at their family restaurant, Ying's Asian Cuisine, their 5-year-old daughter.
Okay, and you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
About, yeah. I mean, she was there sleeping. I mean, you know.
Where was she sleeping at? In the restaurant?
Yeah. She was sleeping there, and I picked up my older daughter from school. We all saw her sleeping there. So, and, you know, we went to work, and, you know, we let her sleep. We got busy, and then, after it got busy, you know, we started cleaning up, and then, you know, we opened the door, and she's not here.
Liang Zhao clarified to the 911 dispatcher that his daughter Ashley had been sleeping in her usual spot in the back of the restaurant. She had definitely been there around 5 p.m. when he last checked on her. But now it was almost 10 p.m. The back door was open, and Ashley was gone. Outside, a blizzard was raging, and Ashley was not dressed for the weather. A Chinese-American couple suddenly reports their 5-year-old daughter missing. After numerous search efforts by the police, the girl's body is found right inside the restaurant's freezer. Why did the little girl die so mysteriously? And why was her body hidden in her own family's refrigerator? Let's explore today's case, The Secret in the Freezer. It was the middle of winter in North Canton in January, with heavy snowfall and very low outdoor temperatures. If the child was not found in time, the severe weather could put her in danger. The police immediately mobilized nearly all of their forces, along with drones, police dogs, and local residents, to find the girl as quickly as possible. However, after an entire night of searching, no trace of the little girl was found. The police felt a deep sense of regret. In conditions of heavy snow, the chance of a 5-year-old surviving was practically zero. Reluctantly, the following afternoon, the North Canton Police Department issued an Amber Alert across the entire state of Ohio. The police went to meet the couple who reported the disappearance to inquire and conduct a procedural check. The couple were Chinese Americans, Chen Mingming, 30, and her husband, Zhao Liang. Both came from Fujian, China. Zhao Liang had already obtained U.S. citizenship, while his wife, Chen Mingming, had immigrated illegally to the U.S. as a teenager and never obtained legal status. Since 2009, Chen Mingming had filed for asylum twice, but both were rejected by the U.S. government. In 2013, the couple opened a small restaurant in North Canton, Ohio, and the business was quite good. They had 2 daughters, one 9 years old and the other 5 years old. The missing child was the youngest daughter, named Ashley. Ashley was born in 2012 and was later sent back to China for her grandparents to care for. It wasn't until late 2016 that she was brought to the U.S. to live with her parents. The couple claimed that because they were busy with the restaurant business, they didn't have much free time during the day. Ashley was a very good girl and often played alone. But on the day of the report, they couldn't find their daughter no matter how hard they looked, so they called the police. During the interrogation, the police noticed that both spouses exhibited unusual behavior, seemed evasive, and appeared to be hiding a secret. Officers began to search the entire restaurant, and the discovery that followed horrified them. An officer found Ashley in the restaurant. The 5-year-old girl was dead and hidden in the walk-in freezer. Her body was covered by a thick layer of salt. The police immediately arrested the couple and began investigating the entire case. The autopsy showed that the girl died from multiple strong blows to the head. After interrogating the couple, the police discovered that the cause of the girl's death was that the mother, Chen Mingming, had beaten her to death. It turns out that the couple came to the U.S. hoping for a better life. They worked hard, opened the restaurant, and their economic conditions improved significantly. However, the demanding work and business pressure caused them to become stressed. Both spouses grew increasingly short-tempered, and violence against their children became a tragic consequence of this situation.
You got her, she's 4, she's not potty trained. She doesn't know her last name. She doesn't know if she's a boy or a girl. I know you can't verify that, but if you want, I can tell you, you can put me back on the machine and I can tell you that I'm telling you the truth when I'm telling you these things. You can put me back on the machine, I can tell you that when I'm telling you these things that she's not potty trained, she doesn't know her last name, and she doesn't know if she was a boy or a girl when we got her when she was 4. And the list goes on and on.
Was Ashley abused at her grandmother's house, or was she simply developmentally delayed? Whatever the explanation, the fact that a 4-year-old was still wearing diapers infuriated Mingming Chen. Liang Zhao told police that Mingming often had angry outbursts directed at Ashley. During a police interrogation, Zhao described in detail a year of escalating abuse, with Mingming regularly beating their daughter on a weekly basis. Liang regretted not intervening, but remained desperate for his wife to be understood.
My wife, she's not a bad person. She's not. I mean, you know, I married her. I wouldn't marry her if she was physically abusive at the beginning. You can see my daughter, my Jojo, she's 6 years old. We took care of both of us for 6 years. Not one time did my wife, like, physically abuse her, you know, out of anger or anything like that. You know, we spanked her, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct her.
Yeah.
She did something wrong.
Yeah, but nothing like, you know, the bruises on her, you know, all over the place that you found on Ashley. My wife is a good person. I know it's very hard to believe, you know, seeing Ashley, but look at Jojo. Look at Jojo, you know, she's a good person.
A year after moving in with her parents, Ashley's body was discovered in the restaurant's freezer. At the police station, officers spoke with Ashley's father and began piecing together the story of what had happened.
What happened yesterday morning?
Okay, yesterday morning, we got up, we prepped Jojo for school. I took Jojo to school. I came back. When I came back, my wife was very angry at Ashley. After she pooped at potty in a diaper, you know, my wife knows that she had issues with potty training, so she was going, it's fine, but then she took off her diaper again. So that got my wife angry. And so, you know, when you're 5 years old, you know, you still don't know how to poop in potty. And my wife got angry and hit her head on the carpet, you know, 2 times. And initially she was breathing. She was still breathing then. And
Did you watch? Did you see your wife do it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was home at that time.
What time was it?
Usually, so I drove upstairs at 9-ish. I can't say approximately because I don't look at the time. Oh, you know, my wife is banging Ashley said on the carpet. It was 9:15. 9-ish, 9:15, I guess.
At 9 a.m., Mingming struck Ashley on the head, causing her head to hit the carpet. Although her eyes were unfocused and she was struggling to breathe, her father claimed he did not recognize the signs of a concussion or serious brain injury.
Right then, she wasn't breathing?
No, she was breathing. She was breathing, and, you know, I was like, okay, so she's still breathing, she's okay.
Was there any blood or anything?
No, there's no blood.
Was she walking? I mean,
No, she wasn't walking, she was breathing, but she was lying down. And I thought she was going to come out of it in a little bit, you know? So, she stopped. But I didn't realize she stopped. I thought she was breathing normally now. Because she was gasping, like...
After Ashley's head was struck on the morning of December 7th, her parents had the chance to take her to the hospital. They did not, and Ashley died shortly afterward. Then her parents faced another choice: confess or try to cover up their crime. They placed Ashley in her car seat and picked up Jojo. Then they drove to the restaurant and put Ashley's body in her bed. The plan was to turn Jojo into a witness and create an alibi.
Both of us. I don't know exactly who came up with what, but, you know, we should bring her to the restaurant so Jojo can see her. So Jojo, when you guys ask her, you know, I'm like, I was thinking maybe that wasn't a good idea, but I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. So, you know, bring her to the restaurant so Jojo can see her, so that when we call, Jojo can say, oh, she was here at the restaurant and she left the back door at the restaurant instead of, you know, at the house. She accidentally got killed. So,
Where were you gonna Or are you gonna put her at the restaurant so JoJo can see her?
And, at the room that she was normally in, she sleeps in there. So, JoJo will see that she's sleeping there and can verify it. And, she's sick, so, and even if you ask her to take a polygraph, I don't know if you could ask a 6-year-old to take a polygraph, but a 6-year-old wouldn't lie like that. And so we didn't want JoJo to lie, so we want JoJo to see Ashley there.
Getting back to the last night, you guys actually cooked and served meals while your daughter was laying there.
Yes.
And went on business as usual.
Yes.
And that was to keep JoJo from thinking anything bad was going on.
Yes. We talked about places, and I said this is probably the best place to do it. It's well ventilated. I'm going to put salt in it. You're not going to be worried about temperature because it's cooler up there.
With the alibi established and the body hidden, it was time to call 911. That was the call you heard at the beginning of this video. Knowing what we know now, it's hard not to hear that call differently. It wasn't a father trying to stay calm in the face of fear, but a man trying to sound normal while concealing a terrible secret. Around 9 a.m. on January 9th, 2017, the mother Chen Mingming became angry because her youngest daughter was disobedient. She repeatedly struck the child's face and grabbed her head, slamming it hard onto the floor, leading to Ashley's death. According to the father's later confession, after Chen Mingming beat her daughter, a green liquid flowed from her girl's mouth. They took the girl to the bathroom to clean her up, but she was no longer breathing. Although the father tried CPR, all efforts were in vain. The unbelievable thing was that despite knowing his wife had committed a terrible crime, Zhao Liang did not call the police. Instead, when the police arrived, the couple even provided false information and pretended to join the search. Chen Mingming initially refused to admit knowing her daughter was dead. After multiple interrogations by the police, she finally confessed to hitting her daughter. Afterwards, the couple disposed of the girl's body, placing it in a container in the kitchen, covering it completely with salt, and hiding it in the freezer. After concealing everything, they called the police and lied that their daughter had gone missing. The couple fully admitted to the cause and process of the crime. The case was quickly brought to trial. The trial began in October 2017. The father, Zhao Liang, pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including tampering with evidence, obstructing justice, gross abuse of a corpse, and child endangerment. He agreed to testify against his wife for murder. After pleading guilty, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison, with a chance for parole consideration after 6 years. Meanwhile, Chen Mingming refused to plead guilty to the charges of murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. She constantly claimed that she was in a state of anxiety and fear at the time of the incident and had mental health issues, requiring a more detailed psychiatric evaluation. She didn't want to tell the truth because her husband told her that if she pleaded guilty, he might be released from prison sooner to take care of their older daughter. Otherwise, the 9-year-old girl would be placed in welfare facilities and become a child without parents. On the last day of 2017, at the final court session, Chen Mingming finally pleaded guilty. The prosecutor sentenced her to 22 years in prison for the charges of tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse, and child endangerment. The 22-year sentence included 11 years for involuntary manslaughter, 8 years for child endangerment, and 3 years for tampering with evidence. Each charge carried the maximum penalty. Because Chen Mingming was not legally documented in the US, she would be deported immediately upon completing her prison sentence. The case shocked the entire United States. At the trial, the judge stated that choosing the maximum sentence for each charge was due to concerns that Chen Mingming might continue to harm her remaining child. She would have to stay in prison long enough so that by the time she was released, her older daughter would be an adult and able to protect herself. The parents had to pay for their sins, but Ashley, the little girl who had just turned 5 2 weeks before her death, would never be able to return. After Ashley's passing, local residents voluntarily placed flowers and toys outside the door of the restaurant where she was lost, to express their sorrow and remembrance. This case is both shocking and heartbreaking. It is difficult to imagine that parents could do such a thing to their own children. No matter how hard the work is or how difficult life becomes, that can never be a reason for them to hurt their children.